So we move to the women's quadruple sculls now. And this is a repechage, meaning that the Ukraine and Netherlands have qualified already. So 2 of these boats from this heat, the Czech Republic, Australia, Germany, Great Britain and Romania, will go through to tomorrow's final. Replay at the start. Romania closest to you in the distinctive blue, yellow and red blades. Then the British quad to miss Belgrade, new British quad. The Germans, very fast, very quick, very powerful quad. Expect them to win this repechage. Australians closest to them on their right, and then in lane 1 the Czech sculler with, of course, Miroslav Topkinova-Natkova, the London 2012 Olympic champion, stroking the boat with a bunch of youngsters behind her.
But as you say, Martin, you expect to see this German crew doing well. It's a relatively new combination that they've put together here, but got nice control. Only 2 to qualify, so there's still plenty of racing to go. You see the Australians in second place with Olympia Aldezay in the stroke seat. The British right in there. They've had a few problems with injuries trying to get this boat going. I know they've got high hopes for it. And then the Romanian crew all battling for that second place.
The Germans only lost out in their time trial to the Dutch by the narrowest of margins, 0.14 seconds. And you know, both are great quads. There we're riding with the Australian Olympia Aldezay in the stroke seat of that Australian quad, the South Australian from Adelaide, and then we've got Rowena Meredith behind her from Sydney University Boat Club, and Kat Cronin from Queensland, and then another Sydney University sculler in the bows with the long plait, Genevieve Horton, the 23-year-old.
And that's a strong move the Australians have made in the third quarter here. That they were right in the battle really with Britain and Romania, but they've really seen off Romania, who've struggled in this third quarter, and the Australians moved on well. The British, like I say, Zoe Lee in the stroke seat. She's back after the Rio Olympics where she stroked the 8 to a silver medal. This return race, but they have been hampered by injury. So
they do scull long. They've got a very long sort of pull in the water. I think they're coached by Paul Thompson, and you know, it's an impressive length of stroke. Sometimes, you know, I'm not quite sure where that'll leave them in the sprint for the finish.
And it might not suit these kind of tailwind conditions. I would have thought almost if you're going to row that long and you're not quite used to it and you're still coming together as a crew, a headwind almost helps you more where the boat just sits up. But the British have been able to respond pretty much neck and neck with Australia. Remember, only 2 to qualify from this one.
So Germany looking back at the fight for that second qualifying place. The Germans are very young crew as well. The 2 women in the stern, Frieda Hammerling and Francesca Natman, just 21 years of age, Greg, and then Carlotta Nordjaja, 22 in the 2 seat, and the more experienced Marie-Catherine Arnold, 26 in the bows. That's the German boat, the number 3 we're looking at. There is Marie-Catherine Arnold, the 26-year-old, the Dwaja, 23. And then the woman with the cap is Francesca Natman from Rüdeverein-Waltrop. And then the stroke, 21-year-old Frieda Hammerling from Muttergesellschaft Germania Kiel.
And that German boat is in control, but what a great race we got here in the last 250. This is what you train for, side by side, the British quad against the Australian quad. Only 1 qualifying place now, just 200 metres to go, and both crews pretty much going the same speed. But by this graphic, the Australians rating considerably higher.
Yeah, and I think this is new territory for the British crew, stroked, of course, by Zoe Lee, because this is what you want the experience for, these tight races. And Zoe Lee, of course, tremendously pleased to be back from her knee injury. But both crews coming back on Germany, Greg.
But it looks laboured in the British crew. They haven't been able to move on. They haven't been able to pick the pace up at all. Australia were able to really come on in this last 250. The British just haven't been able to do that, and the Australians have taken half a length out of them.
I think the British followed the dictum of don't shorten up, don't shorten up. Do you think that's on the gearing? They've got it geared a little too hard, maybe?
Well, they were certainly long and strong in the water, but yeah, they didn't have that change of pace, did they, for the last 20 strokes or so that we saw from Australia?
That's what experience will give them through the season. There's Mirka Topkinova-Natkova just finishing back in 5th place. There's the Germans dominated the race. They watched the fight for that vital second place, which was won by Australia over Britain. 6:22.45. Skinny blades, Greg. Favoured by the Germans. There we're looking at the distinctive features of Frida Hammerling, closest to us. The blonde hair and the sunglasses. 21-year-old. It's a young event, this is. Really interesting to see how Germany comes through with this. And there's those Australians, slightly more experienced. Olympia Aldersey, 25 years of age. In the quad that, in the double rather, that took bronze medal last year in Sarasota.
And I think that experience showed through really in the sculling boat. That Australian crew just held their nerve as the British kind of attacked them in the third quarter, but then they knew how to pick it up and pick up the pace towards the finish line, which leaves the German crew and the Australian crew qualifying, pushing out Great Britain, Romania and the Czech Republic.